Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. Today is March the 31st, 2017. This is home of cryptocurrency straight talk, no fancy setter graphics, just information. Hey, we have some great guests on today, Tai Zen and Alex Fortin. You know them very well. They have their own channels out there. They're going to be linked to below. Now, before we say hello to them, I want to remind everyone that tomorrow is April the 1st, and every first of the month, there's an Ask Me Anything on this channel where people just ask me all sorts of questions in the chat. You know, usually I don't have time to look at the chat, but I make it a special thing to have a chat show. So that's tomorrow night. I don't know the exact time yet. I'll try to maybe do it around 6 p.m. Eastern time, hopefully. All right. So let's just jump right into this thing. I mean, this has been quite a day in Bitcoin, quite a week in Bitcoin. We're up to 1080 now. So the story that's coming out as we speak is Charlie Lee of Litecoin has mentioned that a major miner has started to signal. And perhaps people knew about this yesterday, and that's why Litecoin started surging yesterday. It started to surge again today. This is just big news for Bitcoin and Litecoin. So Alex, I'm going to start with you here. What do you think about this Litecoin situation? What do you think is going on here? Are we about to see a real price spike here? And will they implement segregated witness?
Nice. Adam, thanks for having me on the show, by the way. I think it's great that, Litecoin is implementing segregated witness. I think that this is going to bring the price of Litecoin up. Like, how long we've seen the price of Litecoin just dead for the past, few years almost, right? I mean, I think that's what Litecoin needed to get a revival. And yeah, I think that's a great news. I think then, we're going to see maybe some kink. If Litecoin adopts segregated witness and it goes perfectly, I think there's no reason why Bitcoin would not, adopt it. I think people are scared of segregated witness. That's why they don't want to, they think that, something's going to go wrong. But if we see it adopted there, everything goes fine. I think that miners, on Bitcoins will most likely want to adopt segregated witness.
All right. Tai Zen, what do you think about this situation? Do you have a price prediction for Litecoin by this time next week?
My team does not have a price prediction for Litecoin simply because we haven't seen it, like when we look at we're an investing channel. So when we look at the projects, we have to see if, is there any investment value in it? And, we haven't been able to figure out how Litecoin has a better anything that's different from Bitcoin. So, and that's kind of funny to say from our team because, we invest in a ton of cryptocurrencies and altcoins and stuff, but Litecoin is not anything that's different from Bitcoin in our eyes. But what we do want to see is we would like to see the segregated witness implemented on it so that the Bitcoin community can see it and then adopt it as well. So we do want to see that because we have a consensus on our team that we don't want to see Bitcoin split in half because that's going to create a tremendous amount of chaos in the markets and it's just going to create confusion and nothing kills the adoption of cryptocurrencies faster than confusion in the markets. So if there's anything that can help eliminate that, we're all for it.
Well, let me ask you a follow-up. Now, before I do that, as you can tell with our guest on today, there's going to be a lot of altcoin talk. And I know you don't hear that a lot here, people, but you're going to hear it today. And I know some of you are going to be really excited about that kind of stuff too. So stay tuned. Hit that like button if you like altcoins. But here's the follow-up. Yes, Litecoin, not much of a difference from Bitcoin at all. It is Bitcoin's test net, basically. That's what Charlie Lee and I have discussed. And I think that gives it some value right there. Now, we saw a spike in the price of Bitcoin today. I don't know. I mean, there's a rumor, something's going on in Japan, blah, blah, blah. But in your opinion, Tai, if this is the first domino to fall in Bitcoin implementing SegWit, perhaps did this Litecoin rumor help Bitcoin today? What do you think helped Bitcoin today? Does it have anything to do with this?
I'm not exactly sure. I've been looking online to see what it is, and if it's rumors that it's going to go through, obviously it's going to help, to increase the price of it. There's been a lot of rumors in the community that they're going to adopt segregated witness, and I really wish that it was not just a rumor, that it would be true, that they go ahead and actually adopt it so that we can move on. I think that cryptocurrencies can have more adoption from the public if we can just get past this issue and move on, really. Whether it starts with Litecoin or with Bitcoin, it needs to just start somewhere.
Okay, I would like to point out that indeed the signaling over at the Litecoin signaling site, it has gone up. I think it is above 25%. Now, I don't have it in front of me. I checked it before. It might have been 27%. So yeah, if someone does it, it's going to clear up the uncertainty that is out there, and that is huge. So perhaps Litecoin will lead the way. Alex, do you have an opinion on why we saw this surge? Because the last 2 Fridays before this were FUD Fridays, where people were panicking out of their minds. The price of Bitcoin was falling, and I was worried that perhaps we would see this same thing again happen this Friday, but we've seen the opposite. We've seen a 50-point rise. Do you have any idea why this is going on, Alex? And is it connected to the Litecoin rumors at all? Are people panicking out of altcoins? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it could be linked to Litecoin, maybe. I mean, we have seen on Bitfinex, they had the market where you can either buy Bitcoin Unlimited or Bitcoin Core. Bitcoin Core is just overvalued over Bitcoin Limited. So maybe any news that shows that Bitcoin Core will be the path forward, maybe that's going to boost the price of Bitcoin. That's what we're seeing on Bitfinex. So
I think that is a good theory of what maybe people are paying attention to this Litecoin thing. I wanted to point out that also just the rumor of Litecoin implementing segregated witness has brought Litecoin from around $4 to around $7. So just think about what could happen if people actually think Bitcoin is going to implement segregated witness. What could happen to the Bitcoin price if that comes about? And if you compare it to what's going on with the Litecoin price, just on speculation alone. Tai, I about altcoins. Will we see Bitcoin over 70% dominance again soon? It looks today like there was a minor panic. I mean, at least out of Dash did not have a good day these last couple days. So some people could say, and they're saying in the chat, that maybe some of the money that's flowing into Bitcoin is just straight up from Dash. What do you think about that? Are we going to see 70% Bitcoin dominance soon? Has there been an altcoin panic today?
So just so that in case anyone's new to your show, Adam, I know you're getting a ton of new subscribers every week, so just so that we catch up everybody on real quick on what the Bitcoin dominance index is. The Bitcoin dominance means that, like right now, if you go to CoinMarketCap, it shows that the entire cryptocurrency market cap is worth about $25 billion. And out of that $25 billion, how much of it is actually Bitcoin versus the alternative cryptocurrencies, often referred to as the altcoins. And right now, 67% of the entire cryptocurrency market cap is made up of Bitcoin's value. So that's what we call the Bitcoin dominance index, or just the Bitcoin dominance in general. People refer to it as the index simply because it's just a number that is on cryptocurrency, CoinMarketCap.com. And in my opinion, based on the technical analysis of the charts of the Bitcoin dominance index, it's way below the trend channel, and I would say that yes, we are bound for the price to bounce back up and go back up to 70% or higher, and I would say that should be happening anytime soon now. So all the money that's in the altcoins are going to pour back into Bitcoin. And that's what I believe that the current rise in the Bitcoin price is all about.
I think.
Yes, I do believe. Yes, I do believe that Bitcoin will go back up to 70% or higher. But no, I do not believe that it will stay there for very long, because there's so much money that's going into the altcoins now, and people don't see, like when Leon and I first started into the cryptocurrency investing back in 2012, late 2012, 2013, we were very scared about the alternative cryptocurrencies, often known as the altcoins. But nowadays, the altcoins like Ethereum, like Dash, like Monero, like Zcash, and all those, they are very common names now. Litecoin and all those, no one thinks that they're a scam anymore, and so that's much easier for new investors to put money into it. So yes, I do believe, to answer your question, I do believe that the Bitcoin dominance will go above 70%, but I don't believe that that's going to remain for long. I actually believe, and the rest of my team believes, that in 2018 we may see Bitcoin no longer be the dominant. We might start having Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies that show up as one of the dominant cryptocurrencies.
You're saying that in 2018 you think another cryptocurrency may surpass Bitcoin in market cap, is what you're saying?
Absolutely. The reason why is because nobody knows. Nobody knows. As much as people often joke around and refer to as the oracles of cryptocurrency and everything. But even then, we don't know what's going to happen in 2018. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. But if you look at the trend on CoinMarketCap and you look at the Bitcoin dominance, you can see that it's clearly creating lower highs, meaning that every year that goes by, every month that goes by, the Bitcoin is a smaller and smaller and smaller percentage of the cryptocurrency. And you got Ethereum right now. It's over $4 billion. It's a $4 billion market cap. Anything that has $1 billion or more value, you cannot laugh at it and scoff at it no more. You have to take it seriously.
Now, I'm gonna follow up. I'm gonna ask Alex if you've anything to add to all of this, because this is a very interesting topic, and it is pertinent to the news of the week, because leading up, we've had a lot of uncertainty with Bitcoin because of segregated witness and the people delaying it, and the whole drama around that. And many people theorize that the reason the Bitcoin dominance has dropped is only because of the lack of segregated witness and the uncertainty around it. And people have just decided to throw their money into other altcoins, so that eventually it'll just totally reverse, and there will be some scary moments for some of these altcoins. Now, Tai just said that he thinks that indeed it will reverse, but then again, it'll reverse from that again, that an altcoin can catch up to Bitcoin. I mean, so Alex, what do you think about all that? I just said a mouthful.
Right. I agree with Tai. I mean, I think that it's possible that another altcoin overcome Bitcoin, but in the same time, I think that Bitcoin built for itself a moat around Bitcoin, and Charlie Munger talks a lot about like building a moat around your business, and that's what's going to protect your business. No other businesses can take away your brand, right? And so Bitcoin has a brand, and it seems that people think that Bitcoin Unlimited that brand, because now just like Tai and you saying that it will create uncertainty, people will get confused which one is the brand. So Bitcoin will lose its moat by having two different Bitcoin. I think it will maybe not lose it, but it will damage it.
Oh yeah, it would be an absolute nightmare if that happened. But if that doesn't happen, which it appears it will not happen, then I see Bitcoin. I mean, my opinion. I'm asking myself the question now. I definitely see Bitcoin returning to over 70% dominance relatively soon, especially if they start to implement. If it actually happens, segregated witnesses implemented, it'll be back to 80%. And I don't think, or close to it, and I don't agree with Tai. I do not think another altcoin can surpass Bitcoin. I think we're in a very bubblicious area right now that is just spotlighting a lot of altcoins that perhaps maybe shouldn't be spotlighted or are just way overvalued. Now, a lot of people, again, they thought there was going to be a guy on here today. He didn't show up. That was going to talk about some Dash. So let us actually talk about Dash, because it has lost some value lately. What's your feeling on Dash here, Tai Zen? Do you have an opinion?
Okay, so my opinion is about Dash is this. Many of you guys know that have been following our channel at cryptocurrency.market, that we've been spending several months now researching the privacy coin field, what we call the privacy coin bucket. We divide cryptocurrencies up into multiple different, we group the cryptocurrencies in certain buckets, okay? And in the privacy coin bucket, that's all the privacy coins such as Zcash, Monero, Dash, and several more. Those are the major ones, right? And then we have the minor ones such as like Navcoin, like Pivx or Privix. I'm not sure how you exactly pronounce that. We got like the Shadow Cash project that's being rebranded into the Particle project, so they have a more positive image. We got Cloak Coin that's coming out. We got all these different, and then we got another fork of Zcash that's about to happen with Zen Coin, and then we got Komodo. So we got all these different privacy coins that's coming out in the privacy coin bucket. And when you ask about Dash, it's had a huge run up, and I think that Dash is solving, based on our privacy coin research, Dash. People are worried about how the technology is better or not, Adam, but I want your audience to know that the biggest sticking point right now in the cryptocurrency world is an issue that's called governance. Governance simply means that who is going to make the final decision, okay? Who or how is the final decision going to be made when there's issues that pop up in the cryptocurrency? And for example, the problem with Bitcoin right now is not a problem of whether or not the block size should be bigger, like the Bitcoin Unlimited team is proposing, or should SegWit be better, that the Bitcoin Core team is proposing. The issue that we're running into with Bitcoin is an issue called governance. It simply means who is going to make the final say-so or decision, and because the system has been decentralized from the beginning, Adam, everything, there's no central location to make the final decision, and that's the problem. Everybody thinks it's SegWit versus unlimited block size, but it's not. It's a governance issue. And when you ask me about Dash, right now, Dash is the what do you call that? Dash is the premier cryptocurrency that is working, that has a viable solution to the governance issue. So regardless, even if Bitcoin has a better technology, better developers and all that, Dash has working on a solution that is overcoming the problem that is holding Bitcoin back. So if it's able to solve that problem, then more than likely it has a good opportunity to advance and become the new dominant cryptocurrency.
Well, I'll say this with the governance issue, that we've definitely discussed this on this channel before about governance. And Dash does have a different form of governance. What we've been hearing a lot, though, is when we think of the governance coin is Decred, who should be coming on the show next month, perhaps. And everyone wants Decred on this show, too. But they supposedly have quite a governance model there. I just wanted to throw that out there. And they are not an anonymous coin. They are not in that bucket. You don't call... Yeah, you call. So I'd like to think there's a governance bucket too, a very small one, and I think it's going to be the flavor of the month. I think that's what's going to get pumped next is the governance coin, specifically that. Well, one, because Dash really, it tries to be an everything coin. I mean, that is straight up competing against Bitcoin. But I think that there are going to be more and more coins that say we have a different form of governance. And people are going to be like jumping on those bandwagons soon enough. But we'll definitely see. And I guess we got off on a tangent. But we're going back to Dash specifically, Tai, and then I'll get to you, Alex. Do you have Do you see a crash coming with Dash soon? That it was pumped up too fast because it has dropped in price lately.
Absolutely. There's two reasons why I see it. There's a correction or a price that's going to fall from Dash for two reasons. The first reason is because, well, there's actually three. Well, the first thing is there's two things that apply to the first reason. One is the Bitcoin dominance that you just mentioned. And I just took a screenshot and I'm going to post it on Twitter so that everybody can see what I'm talking about. I drew two red trend lines. And that's a downward channel on the Bitcoin dominance index, Adam. And we are way below the trend channel on the Bitcoin dominance index. Okay. And because of that, there's a high probability. It's not a guarantee, but there's a high probability that the price is going to snap back up. Okay. It's going to pull back up. And when the price of Bitcoin increases, you need less Bitcoins to buy the alternative coins. And that's what we call the seesaw effect, right? So because if Bitcoin goes up, it's going to require less to buy the cryptocurrencies. And if you watch the video that I created in the past called "What is the Bitcoin Seesaw Effect?" I explain that in more detail. But basically, it's going to require less Bitcoins to buy that same altcoin. And because of that, the price of that altcoin in terms of Bitcoin is going to go down. But in terms of US dollars, it may remain the same.
Yeah, very, very good point. I want to stress to everyone again that this show is a little different than our usual ones. We're going to be talking a lot about altcoins. And remember, Adam Meister does not endorse specific altcoins. He just says buy and hold Bitcoin. That's my slogan. And I don't, just because we're going to mention a lot of names here, sometimes when I mention a name of an altcoin, people are like, oh, I went and followed your advice. I'm like, I didn't give any advice. I just mentioned a name of an altcoin. So there are going to be a lot of names thrown out there today. So don't take them as like to go out and buy this kind of thing. And again, if you're interested in this, you go to Tai's channel. It's excellent with the trading and everything. I'm not a trader. But Alex, I'm sorry. I haven't let you speak for a little bit. Do you have any opinions on this Dash altcoin situation? Is there an altcoin you want to bring up?
Well, it seems like, yeah, Dash answered a couple of questions. Like, yeah, the governance problem, it has obfuscation, so you can obfuscate your transaction and render your coin anonymous. So, but yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of people were excited by it. And the thing also is that there's been a lot of new money into Bitcoin in the past few months because the price rise, and so a lot of new investors came into Bitcoins, and then they get excited about all those new altcoins, right? And then they see the price going up, and they want to buy everything they see. And most likely, yeah, like Tai said, we're going to see a correction, that's for sure. And a lot of value in altcoins, I think, is going to disappear, right? A lot of money is going to be lost, and yeah, so that's probably Dash and other projects similar will have the same problem, I think.
And is there? I mean, you mentioned to me off air. There was one altcoin that you wanted to say something about. One that I never talk about, so people are going to go crazy when you mention it, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I was just looking at Factom lately, and I just think it's a great project. I mean, it seems that they're not set out to increase the value of their coins. I think they're more it's more run like a business, I found out, and I think they have a real use case in today's world, which is record keeping. The blockchain is amazing, but one of the use case of the blockchain is record keeping. So yeah, Factom is doing that very well. And just lately they had Bill and Melinda Gates give them a grant to keep medical record on the blockchain for countries in the third world. And yeah, so doing a lot of great things right now. The problem with Factom, I think they don't have a wallet. So people, investors in general don't want to invest. But other than the hype, I think just as a project itself, I think Factom is just great. I think there's going to be a lot of use case in the future. Maybe the price is going to lag because the actual developer on Factom don't really care about the price. But I think that yeah, that's a project to watch in the next, and I think within the next exodus is going to be a wallet, a desktop wallet, that's going to be able to allow people to hold Factom onto Exodus. And Exodus is connected to Shapeshift, so you can like transact and change coins directly on your desktop. And yeah, I think having a wallet's gonna increase the hype on Factom. So yeah.
Well, I will say this: everyone that's has asked me about Factom before, there you go. It was mentioned on this show. That might be the last time you hear it mentioned on this show, but it was mentioned on this show. So be happy. Pound that like button, people. Barry in the chat just reminded everyone to pound that like button, because you know I like to pound that like button. Especially we have like 120 live viewers. Alex, as a follow-up, and then we'll get to Tai on this. Do you have any prediction on the next altcoin that's going to see a random spike? What's the next surge that we're going to see? Or fun prediction. People love to hear this kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think Zcash might be the next coin to pop, because it's currently you can add it on Trezor, on Ledger. So it's kind of a secure place for investors that don't want to hold their coins right on the exchange. You can actually safely store them. And it's been, it's the project that was the most hype since Ethereum, right? Ethereum was super hyped when it just came out, and Zcash was just as hyped. So I think that Zcash is the next. Now, I read a little bit on the project, and there's a few things I don't like, which is one of them is that they plan on having your Zcoin or your Zcash. You will have to bring them out of cold storage once a year to keep them alive.
Huh.
So that's something they plan on doing. Yeah, exactly. So if you plan on just buying Zcash and storing it for like a couple of years, then your coins will be worthless, basically. So that's kind of a little bit weird. That's something I'm not super at ease. Yeah. That's the breaks I made when I heard about it.
Yeah, that's news to me. That's very interesting. You learn something new on this show. Tai, do you have a prediction for next altcoin to pop up, or is that something you just don't give? And then we're going to talk about Ethereum Classic very soon too. I just want to tell everyone. Go for it, Tai.
Okay, so since we're an investing channel, on our channel, we look at a lot of cryptocurrencies to invest into, and we invest into cryptocurrencies often, sometimes, that you may not think your audience may not think is good or whatever, but we're in it for investing purposes. I want to piggyback on what Alex just said about Factom. Now, full disclosure, okay, Adam, and for your audience, okay. I always say this on my channel, that if you hear me talking about a cryptocurrency, you might as well assume that we're invested into it. Okay, so that's the full disclosure. Okay, Alex had mentioned about Factom, and I know for a fact that our team is heavily invested into Factom and the token itself, and into the company itself. So just want to say that before I say what I'm about to say. Okay, I do believe that Factom is a very good project, and here's the reason why. They're solving a real world problem that is heavily needed, and that's one of the things that our team always looks at, is for projects that actually solves a real world problem. One of the biggest problems that caused the 2008 real estate crash in America and most of the Western countries was because they didn't have accurate record keeping of all the mortgages, of the paperwork that's done with buying homes in the Western countries. Now, if you're not in a Western country, some of the non-Western countries, they tend to buy homes, like pay cash and buy the whole home. But in almost all the Western countries, people borrow money from the bank to buy a home. And because of that, all the paperwork, there's a stack of paperwork that's about as high as my head for the people in America to buy a home. And that paperwork, there's no place to record it, and there's no place to keep it. And Factom is going in, and they're taking that data, they're compressing it, and they're recording it into the Bitcoin blockchain or any kind of blockchain. And I believe that that's a huge value for one reason, because it costs the mortgage companies, the lenders and the mortgage companies, hundreds of dollars to record that data and be able to make it permanent. And when they record into the blockchain, it's like a few cents. To me, that's a no-brainer, that if you can take somebody's business that costs several hundreds of dollars to record data about a property, and you compress it down to a few cents, to me, that's easy to see the value in that. So, and then the other thing that Alex mentioned that I want to piggyback on is he mentioned about the Exodus wallet. I believe that in my opinion, that is the #1 undisputed heavyweight best cryptocurrency wallet on the market. And I'm saying that not because our team are investors in Exodus wallet. I can say that, and people can't say that I'm trying to pump the value of Exodus or anything like that, because there's no token to be traded. I'm just saying that because I used to teach art, and the guys that developed the Exodus wallet, they have the most brilliant mind for designing cryptocurrency wallets and to make it so it's user friendly. And I haven't seen one wallet yet on the market that is easier to use, that's more, easier on the eyes to look at, like attractive on the eyes, and it's just overall easy to use, and you feel safe about using it, right? So I believe, like Alex said, that when they finally add the Factom wallet into the Exodus wallet, and then by the way, I just want your audience to know that Exodus.io is not really a cryptocurrency wallet. It's what is referred to as a blockchain asset management tool. It's a blockchain asset management platform. It's not a wallet like your Bitcoin wallet or your Litecoin wallet or something like that, because it's designed to hold all your assets, your blockchain assets, and be able to trade it off for one for the other inside the wallet itself, because that gives you privacy, because you don't have to worry about submitting your personal name and phone number and social security number and all the other private personal information that you don't want to expose to the world inside the blockchain asset management platform itself, inside the Exodus.io platform. Okay, so that's my thoughts. If you ask me about if there's any specific altcoins that I think has value, I believe that the biggest miss, it's not something I believe, it's the biggest miss that we had in 2016 was the privacy coins bucket, which includes like Monero, Dash, Zcash, and those are the major players. And then we have the minor players such as Shadow Cash, such as Komodo, such as Pivx, such as Navcoin, such as all of these. And we believe that is an exploding bucket. So there's not like one particular one that I would say, right? But that entire sector, that entire industry, and that entire bucket is what we think is a huge player coming up in 2017 and forward.
Okay, that is very interesting indeed. Alex, he mentioned well, it's not really a wallet, but he brought up the word wallet. You actually have some news about a Bitcoin wallet. And so, we're covering the news of the week, of course. Can you share that news with us, Alex?
Yeah, it seems that Ledger got a new $7 million funding from a couple venture capital funds. And so they have a total 8.5 million since they started the Series A. So 7 million additional out of 8.5. So that's a big news. I think Ledger is like the second biggest, cold storage wallet, and they're looking into getting enterprise-grade cold storage for Q3 of this year. So that will let like SaaS businesses and other business like this manage their crypto assets easily. And I think that's the big news for Bitcoins in general, because the more Bitcoin is secure, the more it's easy to store it and to manage it. I think it's just going to increase the interest of investors, of new businesses. And yeah, I think that's a huge news.
Yeah, I think, when a legitimate Bitcoin business gets that kind of funding, it's very bullish for Bitcoin. Sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry.
No, I just want to follow up with what Alex just said. We do, our entire team. That's the main wallet that we use at the moment. And I just want to say that we were not paid by Ledger Nano or any of those people to say this, but that's the main wallet that we all use, the Ledger Nano S right here. So that's where that's the hardware wallet that we use to store all our Bitcoins, and we do highly recommend that you use a hardware wallet to store as much of your cryptocurrency assets as you can. You don't necessarily have to use Ledger Nano, but we do recommend that you use some type of hardware wallet and do not leave it on your computer.
Hey, so I want to also remind everyone, never leave your Bitcoin or on an exchange. I use the Trezor, as everybody knows. That is a great hardware wallet. I love it. That is what I use here. So I'm glad we're bringing up this subject. So let's move on to another a big news story this week, and that is Ethereum Classic.
Just real quick, Adam. Real quick, Adam. I just want to say this real quick, okay? If you guys are struggling using the Trezor hardware wallet, I would recommend that you guys get in touch with Adam about that. Because if it's the first time that you set up a hardware wallet and you don't do it correctly, you could screw things up, And I think that one of the best guys out there that understands how to use the Trezor wallet is Adam himself. And I'm saying that I wouldn't recommend that if I didn't believe in that, guys. So if you guys have any questions about using it, especially, if you only have maybe a few fractions of a Bitcoin, it's not important. But if you have like 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 1,000 Bitcoins, anything like that, that's not something that you want to try to figure out on your own, especially if you're new to Bitcoin. You want to let somebody that, so contact Adam if you guys have any questions about that.
Wow, look at this. We're getting testimonials in the middle of the show. Yes, everyone, I do do the consulting with the Trezor. I've got a client on Sunday, adam@trezorhelp.com. If you want to email me about that, you can email me about anything though. So everyone got my email. Everyone like this video. We got 132 live viewers. So let's talk about the Ethereum Classic. What's going on with that? There's a lot of different aspects of that story. You all noticed that it did jump to over, I think, $3 for a little bit yesterday. What's going on is that Barry Silbert and his Ethereum Classic Trust, or whatever it's called, is sending out signals that it's getting closer to actually happening, that there's news, there's some tweets that are out there. So I assume that the price hike has a bit to do with that. There's probably some other stuff going on too, and I think Tai actually might. Tai's got some buddies over there at Ethereum Classic. Actually, at well, he can go. It's not officially Ethereum. I want to make something clear here. I think the company. What's the name of the company that Tai that you know? Those guys that you have on your show and stuff. They're not Ethereum Classic. They're a company that deals with Ethereum Classic. Anyway, with all that being said, I just kind of butchered everything. But Ethereum Classic, I think we should definitely keep an eye on what's going on there. I think they're very organized on a lot of different levels, and they obviously have a marketing team. They obviously have Barry Silbert, who is a big pumper. So Tai, take it away there.
So Bitcoin, just in case anyone's new to cryptocurrency investing, I always, because there's always new people that come on, right?
Well, I mean, okay, you don't have to get too in depth, but most of the guys here are not beginners that are on right now. I can see. Continue.
So between the Ethereum Classic and the Ethereum hard fork, or the Ethereum that's led by Vitalik Buterin, the founder. So Ethereum Classic, when it forked off, so there's one of the former co-founders of Ethereum. His name is Charles Hoskinson. He is, and he always wants me to make sure I say this correctly. He's the former co-founder of Ethereum, not the CEO of Ethereum, okay? Because people always refer to him as the CEO of Ethereum, and he's not. He's the former co-founder of Ethereum, and he's currently the CEO of a cryptocurrency company called IOHK, which stands for Input Output Hong Kong. Okay, and Charles Hoskinson, the former co-founder of Ethereum, is from the Denver, Colorado area, and he has assembled a pretty heavy-duty team to focus on building the Ethereum Classic chain. And I believe that there's a lot of potential coming up. I'm actually personally surprised that the price is going up right now, because our team estimated that the price would not go up until later this year, because they just hired like 7 developers to work on it, and we didn't expect the price to shoot up immediately like that. We were looking more forward to where some of their milestones were hit for the project before the price shoots up. So the current price run up, I'm not 100% clear on what's causing it to run up. I think that there's rumors, like you said, that Barry Silbert, the venture capitalist, is setting up a Bitcoin, a Ethereum Classic trust, where he's going to start acquiring a lot of Ethereum Classic, and if it gets approved, that will allow the public. Your audience needs to know the reason why this is important, because there's a lot of people out there that want to invest in cryptocurrencies, but they won't do it directly with the cryptocurrency itself because they're afraid they're going to lose money. They don't know about it. It's not regulated and it's not insured. But there are a lot of people that have money in the stock market, in the Western stock markets, that want to put money in cryptocurrencies. So the first ETF or the first exchange traded fund that's available, or the first trust that's available that involves cryptocurrency, is going to do really well, in my opinion, because it's going to allow people from the traditional stock trading and investment world to be able to invest into it and feel safe about it. Okay, not everybody is willing to take the risk that myself and LeonFood.com and our team is willing to take. They would prefer to keep their money in their 401ks and which is their retirement accounts, the company retirement accounts, and invest it in a safer method. If there was a ETF for cryptocurrencies, or if there's an ETF for Ethereum Classic, or any of them, and that's what they would prefer to do. So there should be, I'm expecting a huge spike in price in any cryptocurrency, not just Ethereum Classic, but anything that gets approved as for the regular folks, the traditional folks, to invest in, Adam. Okay,
Tai Zen with a very good summary of his opinions of the Ethereum Classic situation. Alex, I haven't given you enough time here. Do you have any opinions on Ethereum Classic? If you don't, it's fine. Anything that you'd like to add, actually, as I've been haven't focused enough time on you. I know you have a lot to say about a lot of different issues.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a personal opinion about Ethereum Classic. I mean, there's so many different projects, so many different cryptocurrencies, and they all come up and die quickly after. I haven't seen anything coming out of Ethereum Classic. I think most use Ethereum because that's where Vitalik Buterin is working on. I know that Ethereum Classic can just adopt any new feature, but I don't think that a lot of businesses would build on Ethereum. Maybe the future will tell otherwise, but so far, that's what I think.
Well, let me ask you a question about the future. Actually, we've seen Bitcoin now close the week. If this is the end of the week, I mean, it's like above 1080. It's made a big move. People like Tone Bay said if it ended at above 1050, that was a very bullish sign. What do you see Bitcoin doing this next week? What do you think the price will be next Friday, Alex?
Next Friday, that's a pretty precise bet.
It's putting you on the spot.
But you're gonna get
exactly,
it too,
right?
Man, you're gonna get it too. No, yeah, please.
Let me see on my crystal ball. Yeah, I forget my crystal ball in the other room, but.
Well, no, you can ask Webbot. There's this thing called Webbot that's a complete scam that people believe out there. So I mean, you just ask the magical Webbot. But tell us.
I haven't seen the Webbot. I have to have a look. Yeah, I think Bitcoin, is on a bull run still. I think we're just seeing, there's a dip right now because there's a little bit of conflict, but I think that Bitcoin price will keep on rising. I think there's a lot of good news coming up in Bitcoins. and you know, a lot of businesses, a lot of startup, a lot of people working on building things on Bitcoin. So you know, I don't think Bitcoin is going anywhere, and you know, next week it's kind of hard prediction, but I'd say same 1085 by next week.
Okay, so not that big. You don't see this as the beginning of a huge bull run then. How about you, Tai? Is this with the technicals that you look at? Because I know you do look at technicals. Is this a very positive end of the week? And what do you see for next week? Will it be a positive week next week?
I think it's in the short term. It's really hard to tell, Adam, because when myself and the rest of our team invest into Bitcoins or any cryptocurrency, we always look at it from a long term. We always think in terms of months and years. We don't look in terms of days or weeks, because it's so volatile that there's just too much noise in a day. So if you ask me what's going to happen next Friday, it's really whatever I tell you, to me, is just a bunch of garbage, you know, and it's not really accurate. If you ask me, hey, where do you see it at by like later this year or something? I believe that I can actually give an educated guess on that, or an educated analysis on that. And my analysis, based on the logarithmic charts, right, is that I can see Bitcoin hitting once this BS confusion with Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Unlimited is resolved. I don't care which way it goes, but once that issue is resolved, right, I can easily see Bitcoin cracking 2,000 after it's resolved. And if it gets resolved within the next few weeks or within the next month or two, I can easily see Bitcoin cracking 2,000, above 2,000 for this year. And now I will make this disclaimer to your audience, okay? Myself and our team is an in the closet Bitcoin maximalist. Okay, I want to make that disclaimer. Okay, so we are always going to say something positive about Bitcoins. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you understand that we are not out in the open like Tone Bays is, your other colleague, Tone Bays. So that's going to be a biased opinion. Okay, but we do believe when we make profits, we convert it to a stable Bitcoin cryptocurrency. So that shows that we have a bias towards it. I want your audience to be aware of that when I say that we believe it's going to go up to 2,000 or higher once this issue has been settled. And if it gets settled, this issue, I can easily see it getting to 2,000 by the end of 2018.
Well, you are not the only one who sees, once the uncertainty is out of the air, Bitcoin just going on a rocket ship to, you know, whatever. I mean, you said 2,000, some people 1,700, they're saying. I mean, it should be really interesting. And that's why I brought up this Litecoin segue to start the show with, and I guess I'll bring it up to end the show with, that just the rumor of this Litecoin segue, what it does to Litecoin, just imagine, because there's a lot of uncertainty in Litecoin, just imagine when Bitcoin does get this uncertainty out of there, it is just going to be amazing. So let's move to final thoughts here. Alex, anything you want to add before we get out of here? Because we're going to get out of here soon. Anything that I didn't cover? Anything you'd like to bring up? You know, talk about your show, whatever. Anything?
Nothing to bring about. I mean, yeah. I mean, once we resolve the scaling problem, scaling has been the problem of Bitcoin for the past, since pretty much the inception of Bitcoin. There was a scaling problem. So I think we're going to keep on seeing the scaling problem again and again and again. That's because Bitcoin is so popular. So yeah, it's a good thing we're seeing this problem. It means we're working into solving it, and yeah, I've got a channel. If you guys, if you're people watching, want to check it out, Alex Fortin TV, and yeah, that's.
It's linked to below. It is linked to below, by the way, everyone. The Tai's channel and Alex's channel are linked to below. All right, Tai, I'm going to let you have the closing words here. Anything I forgot? Anything you'd like to bring up?
No, I believe that I just want to bring this up based on the research that we've been doing on the privacy coin bucket. And there's not a specific privacy coin that I would recommend or focus on. I would just look at the entire industry, the entire bucket altogether of all the privacy coins. And like I said before earlier in the show, that was the biggest miss for our entire team, because we missed a 3,000% profit that was available in potential in Monero, and several hundreds of more percent in Dash, in Zcash, and all that. Zcash was on the way down, so there's not much that you could have done, but it's starting to level out. But the thing that I want your audience to understand is this: is that a lot of times people think that the privacy coins are used for drugs and illegal stuff. But based on the research that our team did, we found out that privacy, the human right to privacy, a human's privacy rights, was critical and important to a free society, because if you don't have any privacy, people can intimidate you and threaten you. Okay? And if you don't, you cannot behave as a free citizen of any country if you're private, if you know that at any given time you're being monitored. You're not going to be able to say the things that you want to say because you're afraid that someone might hurt you or there might be repercussions. That's the first thing that is important about understanding someone's privacy rights. The second thing is that if someone, in addition to intimidation, you can be bribed or you can be corrupted. If you're a government, you can be bought because there's no privacy. Like the issue with the congressmen in America today, we can see what they vote for, and the fact that we can see what they vote for, they're having transparency. You can go bribe them. So if you go bribe a congressman and you tell them, hey, if you vote for this, I'll pay you this amount of money, they can prove it. But if everything was private, they cannot prove who they voted for or what laws or what bills that they voted for. So it prevents them from being bribed. I'm sure there's other ways, but that eliminates a big way, because then now there's no way you can tell who they voted for or what they voted for. Okay? So the privacy, the reason why it's so important, all right, is because of all the human rights that we have, Adam. When it gets violated, we can see it. When somebody arrests us illegally, we can see who the arresting officer is or the law enforcement is. If our freedom of speech, like if Google comes in and censors you and don't want you to say certain things about cryptocurrencies, or if they don't want Alex to say certain things, they can shut your channel down, and everyone can see that you guys are being censored. But when it comes to a human's privacy rights, when it's being violated, nobody can see it. If it hadn't been for Edward Snowden to give us evidence that the NSA was violating our privacy rights, or if it hadn't been for Julian Assange at WikiLeaks recently, who revealed that the CIA was violating our privacy rights, we wouldn't. No one would know. No one would have evidence. And to me, based on our research that our team did, the privacy coin sector is a technology. We don't know which one is going to win, so we cannot recommend which one because we don't know which one's going to win. But we do know this, is that the privacy coin bucket provides several cryptocurrencies that gives us the technology to prevent our privacy rights from being violated without us knowing about it, because it's built in, it's default into the system, and that's why I highly encourage that your audience looks into that privacy coin bucket, because we believe that privacy rights go far beyond just drugs and illegal stuff.
Of course.
So that's what I want to end with.
All right. Well, that is a very interesting ending there. And you call them privacy coins. People that are familiar with my channel have always heard me call them anonymous coins. And people have always asked me, well, will altcoins survive? And I say not many will survive, but I think ones that get into specific can do very, very specific things. And I've always said that there probably will be an anonymous coin or two that will make it through all the craziness and will still be around in 2020. So anonymous coins also interest me. Obviously, you have you're an investor and everything. So we've had a great show here today, though. We've talked about altcoins, investment. I mean, things you don't hear about all the time on this show. So it's been a great week in This Week in Bitcoin. It's been a great This Week in Bitcoin show. I thank everyone, all the live viewers. We had like 150 live viewers. I thank my great guest for showing up, Tai Zen and Alex Fortin. Do check out their channels, which are linked to below. And now remember, tomorrow I will be back here because I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. I post a new video every day. And tomorrow will be April Fool's Day, April 1st. It will be the Ask Me Anything chat, probably around 6 p.m. Eastern time. Just follow me on Twitter, check out your updates. You'll get a specific time about what's going on. These Ask Me Anythings are a lot of fun for a lot of people. So we'll have a blast tomorrow. But again, I thank my guest. It was a great time. Do remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share this video. I will join you guys in the chat afterwards right now for a little bit, and maybe Alex and Tai will too. So long. That was This Week in Bitcoin. Bye-bye, everyone.
Pound that like button for the Adam.
Yeah.